Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to do a good old trying new makeup. I haven't done one of these in so long. I have so many products I want to share with you. It was kind of hard to decide because I had like a ton of eyeshadow palettes, bronzers, blushes. Those are really kind of the things that are releasing right now. But I chose out some products that I want to try out. I have the new Dominique Cosmetics JD Weighty collaboration. I've been using these off camera so I can give you a little bit of my thoughts as well as demo them. I also have the new Lawless blushes. Same situation. I've used these off camera. I can give you my thoughts. Also, this new MAC bronzer, same thing. I've been using it. So pretty. So I want to demo that. This I have not used, which is the new Natasha Denona bronze palette. I had one shadow break. This was sent to me, but I want to demo this, just do an eye look. I have the Huda Beauty mascara. It's like double-ended. Also Scott Barnes liquid lipstick and gloss that I picked up. So I figured we would just try all these products out, catch up. Thank you for all the love on my last video. It felt kind of therapeutic to just get it out and then put it to rest. So I just want to get back to makeup, and I appreciate all your comments. There was like over 1,000 comments, which I want to say a huge thank you. Love you guys. Let's get back to makeup and what my channel is about. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. I do a ton of trying new makeup, like most of the new products I'm reviewing, doing trying new makeup, demoing, Sephora hauls. I do have a Sephora haul coming, or if it's already posted, I'll link it down below. But if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. Hit the notification bell because YouTube likes to not notify subscribers of new uploads, which makes no sense. And let's go ahead and begin. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out with the Dominique Cosmetics JD Weighty collaboration. This is the primer. It's called the Ultra Hydrating Complexion Primer. So this is limited edition. You can get it on Sephora. I will link everything down below as I always do. It has a cucumber scent. Let me show you what it actually looks like. So it comes out, it kind of looks like a hybrid, like a gel moisturizer mixed with just a regular moisturizer. It feels like there's a little bit of silicone in there to give you a little bit of slip, but it feels really nice. I was not sure what to expect with this just because makeup brands coming out with more complexion products or skincare products, sometimes you just don't know, but this feels really nice. It has a cucumber melon scent, like a cucumber, that's what it smells like to me. It doesn't burn or irritate, and it feels really nice. I would say I've used it maybe 6 times, and I do really like it as just like a hydrating moisturizer. So I know it's a primer, but if you have like pores, you might want to target your pores afterwards, but it feels just nice. It's not heavy, and it does give you that hydration. So I actually have been enjoying this more than I kind of anticipated. I actually don't have a new foundation, so I'm just gonna use one of my tried and true. This is the Dose of Colors 117. I adore this foundation, so it's just one of my favorites. It's kind of like a double wear feel, but a little bit less, I guess, paint-like. The double wear hangs on forever, like you literally can't get it off. This lasts a good amount, and it has good medium buildable full coverage. So I went ahead and just did my concealer and my brows off camera. I really want to jump into this Natasha Denona palette. This is the new bronze palette. One of my shades broke, so just bear that in mind, this one up here, but I kind of pushed it back in. I'm hoping it doesn't fly everywhere. So I really need to figure out what I want to do. Like, what kind of look do I want to do? Obviously a bronze look, hello. There's kind of this deeper shade that's calling to me, but it's like the only cool tone in the palette. I think I'm gonna start off with Magma. There's not a ton of mattes in here, there's a lot of shimmers, so I'm gonna go here. I literally have not done eyeshadow, no exaggeration, in probably over a month. So let's see if I even know how to do this here. So I'm kind of gonna start just placing for a halo eye. Can I zoom you in more? There we go. Just kind of putting the color down. I really like that she's doing these $65 palettes. Obviously that's super expensive still. She is, I don't know if I would say she's a luxury brand, but obviously she's not drugstore priced. But I like that these are not the $120 palettes. I feel like that is really, really, really high up there, and I don't know if any palettes that I have I can kind of justify that price point, just because you can get ColourPop and there's just so many other shadows you can get that are more affordable. So I think this is a good median price range for her brand. So once I have that down, I'm taking a brush with nothing on it to really just blend out any harshness. I next want to go into this shade up here called Suntan, and I'm just going to kind of go over that. I'm using a rougher brush. I really like these brushes. I only have like 4 of them, but they're nice. They're really soft. They remind me of like Sonia G Beautylish brushes, which are really pricey. And next I want to go into the shade here called Ridge. So Ridge is a little bit more kind of mustardy. I'm going to use this just to kind of blend into the crease. It's a really light color for my skin tone. So I'm just going to kind of use it to add a little bit of a blend here so we don't have just kind of that stark color on the inner and outer corner. I feel like I'm trying to just explain what I'm doing, but in my brain I'm like, do I even know what I'm doing? Do you feel like, I feel like if I don't do something for a while, I really like forget. Like I need to keep up with stuff. You would think I would like know how to do eyeshadow, but part of me is like, bitch, what are you doing? Do we know? Not really. I'm not having any issues with the shadows, which is good. I mean, everything is performing. So I'm gonna go into the deepest matte shade called Deep Dive. So keeping this low, again, just trying to reinforce the depth here. I switched brushes to a smaller brush just to really reinforce this. So I'm just going to blend, make sure we don't have any harshness. So for the lid, I mean, all the shades look really similar, but I'm kind of thinking possibly this shade Silk or True Bronze. I think I'm gonna go with Silk right here, is the shade right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the middle of my lid. So I'm gonna apply this dry first, applying nicely. Do have some fallout. So I went ahead and wet the brush just for the center area right here, just to see if it really makes a difference. It does a little bit. Honestly, they perform nicely with no setting spray, so really you don't need it, which is nice. Definitely does amp it up a little bit. So I went ahead and did a wing off camera, and I wanna go in with this new Huda Beauty Legit Lashes. This is a dual-ended mascara. So it says there's a volume side and a curl and length. I'm gonna start with the curl and length. It's gonna be hard because I have wings on, but this is what the curl and length side looks like. So it's got that curved, really short bristles. So I guess we will just start with that and see. I already curled my lashes. I don't know if I said that already. So it's definitely giving me length. I can feel it and I can see it too. Oh, motherfucker. Do you see that? That's one thing about filming is I can't have my like mirror right up on my face like I typically would. So then shit like that happens where I poke myself in the freaking eye. But wow, okay, look at the length on that. That's not bad. I feel like now I have a mark on my contact. There we go. I feel like I like poked myself right there. So I want to go ahead and go in with the volume before this dries. So the volume is actually, it's a little bit fluffier, but it still isn't like super thick. I mean, she's thick on the end here, but in the middle it's not. So I'm just going to use this to add some volume, which I think I can see it. I don't know. It's kind of hard. You know what? Why can't we all be blessed with Mariah Leonard's lashes? It's really a fucking travesty that we're not. And I'm quite frankly pissed about it because her lashes, if I didn't have to wear lashes with my looks, I mean, I know I don't have to, but really if I'm gonna do like eyeshadow, like actual, like a lot of work on my eyeshadow, I just feel so unfinished without lashes. Day to day when I'm just like putting a bronzer in my crease, I'm okay with it. But truly, I feel like she could put like 1 or 2 shadows on her lid. Her lashes are just like, they're like falsies and then she's done. And I'm like, why did I not get that in the gene pool? And then I feel like it's always men that have like perfect lashes too, or brows, which, why? Perfect example, Ian, he has like these huge, fluffy, you know, thick brows. And here I am. Here we are, folks, with the microblading and there ain't nothing there. I'm like, this is really unfair, you know, because he doesn't appreciate those brows. I would appreciate them. You know what I mean? So I feel like I always see little babies too, like little baby boys, and they have like the longest lashes. And I'm like, how is this possible? So there are the lashes with mascara. I actually am impressed with this. I can't tell obviously because I have all this makeup on, but first impression is good. It's not super, super wet, but it's also not dry where you feel like you have to keep layering. I would say the volume side is a little bit more wet, you know, because it really thickens up. The lengthening and curl side, it really does lengthen. I probably prefer the lengthening and curl side just upon my first impression, but it's really not bad. For lashes, I want to use these Amy June lashes in Rita. This is what they look like. I just thought these might be cute. She cute or whatever. So I have this Velour Lashes Lash and Go adhesive. So I bought this, I hauled it. I mean, it's been years now because I've been off YouTube for so long. This is what it looks like. And when I first used it, I used it like a line on my eye and I didn't like it. So what it is a liner lash glue hybrid. So you can just apply a line and then put your lashes on. The pros to this is it dries so fast. You don't have to wait. With normal lash glue, you want to let it get tacky, and that can take a minute, 2-3 minutes. For each eye, it just becomes time consuming. But I didn't like applying this just to the lash line because I need a liner that I can work with. I'm just like, I have the shaky hands, and this felt like applying glue to the lash line, even though it deposited color. I guess I could show you like on my hand. It deposits color like a eyeliner, but when I kept trying to like layer it and get an even line, I felt like it was like squiggly, and then it felt sticky to me like a glue. So the way that I do love to use this is I just use it as a lash glue. Now the only thing is, because it is black, I can only use it when I have liner on, which I typically do wear liner, but I apply it just to the lash band and then I pop these on immediately. It saves time because you don't have to wait. It's tacky like that. You don't want to put this on both of your lashes and let them sit because they will dry. Like, it's fast. So there's pros and cons. You just have to know how to use it. So I'm going to get these lashes cut and ready, and then I'll kind of demo how I use it. So I went ahead and cut the lash to the length that I need it. And I'm just gonna take the applicator and apply it like I would lash glue. So that's really how you wanna use it. The only difference is it literally dries so fast. So you definitely want to apply it and then literally pop it right on your eye. So it saves you time. So I'll show you close up. If my camera will focus, this freaking wretched whore. There we go. Maybe not. This bitch, she wants to torture me. I don't know if my camera focused, but we're just gonna go ahead and pop this on because like I said, you don't have a lot of time. It's basically dry almost instantly. So I'm just going to apply it and then just secure the inner and outer corner. I like to hold especially the inner corner, but both the inner and outer corner down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye, but as you can see, it's really quick. So if you're kind of like new to lashes, I think this would be good only because you don't have to wait. A lot of people, that's their biggest mistake, is they just throw them right on and then they slip around and they don't stick. Whereas this is like pretty much quick. I wonder if they'll come out with a lash glue in this same formula, but in clear, but I don't know, because this is called the lash, what's this called? Lash and Go. So it's supposed to be an eyeliner. I don't use it that way, but you can, but I'm just saying, I wonder if they would just come out with the formula like this. Basically a super fast drying clear eye glue. That would be nice. Eyelash glue? Yes. Okay, so before I finish the lower lash line, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Dior palette and do a little bit of contouring. I'm just gonna mix these two shades down here. This is one of my favorite palettes ever. Just gonna do a little bit of contouring before I go in with bronzer. For bronzer, I want to use this new one I've been loving from MAC. This is one of their new collections. It's like the bronzing collection. This is Beijing Beauty and it is so gorgeous. I've been using this just in my everyday life. I'm going to use my Sephora number 72 brush. I think they discontinued these and like redid the whole line, which I don't know why because I love this brush. So I'm going to use this just to warm up the skin. They have 2 shades in this, which really, like, 2 shades. Why can we not get to a point where we're releasing, you know, 8 shades of bronzer. Even 5, you know, something. The other one I like, it's called Totally Taupeless, but I like this tone better. So for blush, I want to go in with this Lawless blush, and I have a new brush from them. I don't think you can get the brush on Sephora, but they did send this. My favorite shade is Sakura. It's a pinky shade. It's one of the radiant ones. They have 7 shades, 5 matte, 2 radiant. This is my favorite. My second pick would be Phoenix, which gives you more of that kind of burnt look. But today I want to use the pinky one because I just adore this color. These are really pigmented, but what I like is that they don't have a ton of kick up in the pan. So they're not like really messy. I love this shade. Ooh, so pretty. I love a pink blush. And I really like this brush too. It kind of makes me like, what brushes could they come out with? This feels really, really nice. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of Phoenix, just a tiny bit, because it's pigmented. Apply a little bit up here. We know I love blush. See how pretty that is? I love it. So now I want to work on finishing the lower lash line. I'm going to go into Deep Dive, which is that matte shade, and I'm going to use this right up on the lower lash line to really define. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Magma, which is the second darkest. And I'm going to use just a little bit of a bigger brush. I mean, it's still pretty small. I'm actually going to mix the 2 shades, Deep Dive and Magma, and start kind of really smoking this out. And then I'm going to take a tiny bit of suntan and smoke it just a little bit more. Just a touch. I was going to use a ColourPop highlighter, but honestly, I feel like it was a little too pink. I'm going to use the NARS Orgasm X palette. I adore this. This has a really pretty gold highlight, which I feel like would look better with the kind of bronzy tones that we have. This highlight is really nice and buttery, and it's pretty intense. And I love the really bright blush in here. I wish they would stop doing just like orgasms. Like there is a thing as too much orgasms, you know what I'm saying? But Orgasm X, I can get down with that. So I wish they would just, if they were going to use the orgasm thing again, it's like, let's spin off of it and create something different than just the same blush, because how many people own the orgasm blush? How many people own multiples? So I just curled my hair, obviously. I'm going to line my lips. I'm gonna go in with my Melt Cosmetics Foxy lip liner because the Scott Barnes lipstick I have is a little bit of a deeper kind of nude. So for liquid lipstick, I'm gonna go in with the shade #Facts. This is the Scott Barnes. So they have a light vanilla scent, and the packaging, it's a little bit not my favorite. I mean, it's this gold component. You can see the color right here. I'm just trying to let my curls cool down before I mess with it. So I'm gonna go in with this shade, which it was really hard to tell the swatches because I bought these like the first day that they became available, and I thought this would be a little bit lighter, but it'll be fine. Wow, it really is like the same shade as that lip liner. I'm gonna use a gloss, kind of lighten it up. The formula is really thin. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. I don't know. I was gonna say Ofra, but Ofra is a little bit more liquidy. This is like a moussey, very thin formula. For gloss, I picked up the shade, I think it's called Beige, B-A-Z-H, but it's supposed to be like spelled differently, which is a really light kind of peachy nude. I'm hoping this will lighten it enough because these are pretty pigmented. These have a brush applicator, which I know a lot of people don't love. Still feel like this is a little dark. The glosses do have a thickness to them, but I don't mind that. So they do have a little bit of a tack, like they're gonna hang on. So I actually removed a little bit of that lipstick. I just felt like with the blush, it wasn't matching. I'm gonna go in with Strut, which is the other shade that I picked up from Scott Barnes. This is just more of a light, yeah, pinky color. And then I'm gonna go over that with the beige lip gloss. I just feel like the other shade was a little too dark. So to finish off, I'm gonna go in with the Dominique Cosmetics JD Weighty. This is the Ultra Hydrating Fine Mist. So you can use this to prep your skin, to set, to refresh. I'm just gonna use it to refresh. I do have a little bit of kind of leaking on the nozzle, so this would be something I wouldn't lay flat just because it is kind of leaking when I spray it out. It doesn't leave droplets or anything on my face, but I just wanted to note that. It smells like cucumber just like the primer, and I think these both have willow bark extract, if I can remember correctly. JD Weighty does, she's an esthetician, so she does a lot of facials and stuff on her channel, and she said that this is something that really calms the skin. So it's more of like a skincare product. Both of these are, but you can use them with makeup, and I'm just gonna use it as a setting spray. So it has a really nice light mister. And the scent is not like crazy overpowering. I just don't know if you can see like with the kind of leakage I have on the cap. It's nothing crazy, but I just wanted to note it. All right, guys, here's my finished makeup look. And I am happy with pretty much everything I used today, but let me give you my thoughts. Starting off with this Dominique JD Weighty primer, I actually really like this. As I said, I've used it a handful of times, just, you know, going about my business. Most days I'm putting on foundation, brows, lip gloss kind of thing. And I really like the way this feels. It is scented, so just keep that in mind, but it's nothing that's overpowering. It doesn't feel thick or greasy. It's a very thin formula, and I think it plays beautifully under makeup. So for me, it's more of a primer, moisturizer kind of situation. Just gives you hydration. So if your skin is a little bit dry or your combo, I think you'd really like this. I don't know about super, super dry skin. You might have to kind of use something a little bit more thick, but I actually really like this. This is gonna be in top drawer, something that I keep reaching for. So next up, onto the Natasha Denona bronze palette. I have to say, everything worked beautifully. Now I did use mostly mattes and then one shimmer. I will say a lot of the shimmers are very similar when you look at them. I mean, they're just a lot of shimmers that are very, very close, but I think the whole theme of this palette is the bronze palette. So you have the necessary mattes that you would need to create a very neutral, bronzy, smoky eye, and then you use these to accent. So let me swatch a few. They just look so similar in the pan, and when you swatch them, they are similar, but this one looks like it has kind of like a little duochrome to it. This one is more of like a copper, this one's more of like a gold bronze, and this is more of a true bronze. So there is a little bit of differences there, but truly, if you are somebody that loves bronze tones, they just always look good on you, and you always love that warm bronze look, I think this palette is stunning. The shimmer that I used on my lid, I literally needed no wet brush, which is pretty untypical. Usually I feel the need to, and it applied beautifully. Very soft, pigmented, and the mattes blended beautifully, as you can see. So for me, this is a win. As I said, I really like the $65 price range for Natasha, just because I know $120 is like, woo, people just cannot wrap their head around it. Even me, I'm like, damn, like that's a little too much, you know? And 65, if you're gonna use this palette all the time, you still get a variety of shades, even though in this palette, a lot of them are similar. I just mean that you get more than just 4 or 5 shades to work with. You actually get a full palette to play with. And I think the price range is mediocre or middle of the road for Natasha. So these have been my favorite ones to date from her. Okay, as I'm talking, I'm getting butthole and like strings. So butthole, lips, and strings. So we'll talk about that in a second. I want to move on to the mascara from Huda Beauty. I like it. Of course, I've used it one time. I need to give myself some time to use it. I prefer the lengthening side just because it really kind of made my lashes show up. You know, usually they like to hide, and it really kind of was like, oh, hey girl, they're showing up to the party. But the volume side, I couldn't really tell because I have this thick winged liner on, so I'm gonna have to keep playing with it, but my first impression is that it's not a dud. A lot of times I know immediately I use a mascara and it's not doing shit for my lashes and it's immediately like a no. This one, I could see myself using the lengthening side more so, just to really wiggle and give me, you know, some sort of look of lashes. Moving on to this MAC bronzer, I really love it. I love the packaging, but I more so just love the color of this. So this one is Beijing Beauty. It does have a little bit of a, I wanna say, satin feel to it. There's no visible shimmer or anything, but it just looks healthy. I love this. I've been using it, as I said, every day when I do my makeup, or most days, and I love the tone of it. It blends beautifully and it has just enough satin feel to it that it's not like a flat matte. I think it's beautiful for summer. It was on sale at Ulta. I'm gonna link it down below, but I've been really enjoying this color. You know I'm loving these Lawless blushes. These are my favorite shades. This one I like to add to give me a little bit of that burnt look, and then this is like Baby Doll Central. I love Baby Doll cheeks, but I feel like a lot of people would really like this shade, which is called Phoenix. So here are the swatches. Phoenix is a matte shade, and then the pink one is a satin. There's 2 satin, 5 matte, but honestly, I feel like most people would adore this shade. Most people would be afraid of it. That's the thing. Like, the blushes that look the scariest are the most beautiful on the skin. A little bit of this and you get that kind of burnt, sunburnt, beautiful summer look. Love these, love these. There's 7 shades, as I said, but these 2 stand out to me just for my preferences. Also really enjoying this NARS Orgasm X palette. I wish they would have omitted just the regular Orgasm because, again, how many of us have that? But the highlight in here is absolutely stunning, and then that really punchy blush. Very similar to that Phoenix, a little bit more pink and more glowy, but it'll give you a similar really, really flush cheek. So I've been really enjoying this. One of my favorite new releases from NARS. I also like the lip oil. It's so pretty. Really enjoying the Velour Lash and Go, but as I said, the way that I use it is just as a lash glue. It's very quick, easy. I can get my lashes on without having to let them dry for 3 minutes each. It just saves me like 5 minutes in my makeup routine. In terms of the Scott Barnes liquid lipstick, I like the shade Strut just because it's more of my tone. It's like a pinky neutral. I do notice that I get butthole lips pretty quickly when I mix this and the gloss, which is a little bit like, just because I feel like it can get a little bit goopy. The gloss I like, but I don't love the brush applicator. It's not like a deal breaker for me, but really the standout for me is Strut. This one's a little bit deep for me, which is Facts. Again, I ordered when they didn't have swatches on actual like models or lips, so I just kind of was like looking at the website swatches. So Strut is definitely more my speed. I think it's a nice moussey thin formula. There's no offensive smell or anything like that, but I haven't worn them enough to tell you, you know, if they're long lasting or whatever, but my first impression is that they're good. They're not blowing my mind, but it could just be because the colors I chose, and I just feel like I am getting that line in the center of my lips, which I don't love. And then lastly, the Dominique Cosmetics JD Weighty. Again, I like it. It's not blowing my mind. I prefer the primer. I just feel like I like the way the primer sits and feels under makeup, but it does give me a nice hydration. To me, I want to see how this does with my bare skin, using it to prime the skin and just using it to see if it kind of calms my redness and makes my skin less irritated. So I'll keep using it, but honestly, I like this and the primer more than I thought I would. You know, I'm really picky with skincare just because a lot of things irritate my skin, or, you know, they enhance my texture, and neither of these do that. This does give you a nice hydration, and it did work, you know, beautifully over my makeup, but I just want to keep trying it out before I give my full thoughts. So that is everything for this trying new makeup video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm excited to get back to filming these videos. Let me know down below if you've tried these products or if you're interested in them. I'll probably be doing a couple more of these just because when I wasn't filming, a lot of palettes and bronzers and blushes, setting sprays, a lot of stuff came in, and I want to keep trying it out for you guys. So as always, I'll give you updated thoughts later on after I've tried these products for a while. If you're new here, I hope that you'll stay a while and subscribe. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.